Good evening, and welcome to the October 21, 2019 meeting of the Muskogee Redevelopment Authority. Roll call, please.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Here.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Patrick Kale.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
We're all here. Item 1.
Consider approval of the Community Support Grant Subcommittee recommendation for the Roxy Theater Community Trust Interactive Rocky Horror Picture Show event in the amount of $1,509.58 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Garvin.
Justin is here with the Chamber to go over this request. Typically, the Tourism Committee would approve this request. However, the grant funds are going to a member of the committee. Therefore, it does require MRA approval. Justin?
Yes, the subcommittee met 2 weeks ago, and the committee met the board met last week to go over these. The recommendation was to grant the Roxy Theater Community Trust in the amount of $1,509.58, which was the total amount of their marketing. And then they did have some additional comments to cross-market with the castle and other Halloween events like Bonanza, add to the Travel Oklahoma calendar, add to the Muskogee community calendar, and reach out to local groups such as the Muskogee Pride group, as that would be a good target audience. But other than that, that was all the comments on that one. But I'll answer any questions.
Thanks, Justin. I move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes, and the motion carries. Item 2.
Consider approval of the Community Support Grant Subcommittee recommendation for the Three Rivers Museum Polar Express event in the amount of $1,300 with the option of a metal souvenir mug paid for by Tourism Community Support Fund or take other necessary action.
Mr. Garvin.
This is very similar to the last request, also requires MRA approval. Justin?
This was discussed at the same 2 meetings. This has been a very popular event over the last couple of years. We look to grow that in the future. So they recommended, and the tourism board adopted to grant in the amount of $1,300 with that option for the mug. Since then, we've realized the mug is not needed this year, and so we'll save that for future years. They did also say that if it still becomes as popular as it has been in the past, to add additional nights. That's their only comments.
So what's the $1,300 for? Because on here it looks like we're doing it for the mug. If we're not doing the mug, then what's it for?
It would be for marketing.
Okay. Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes, and the motion carries, and that concludes the agenda for the MRA, and so we will turn it over to Derek.
Thank you. Finance Committee meeting is called to order for October the 21st, 2019. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of October 7th, 2019.
After reviewing the minutes, are there any corrections or addition to our minutes?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the minutes. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes, and the motion.
I got it. Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments September 22nd, 2019 through October 12th, 2019.
Do we have a report from the Purchasing Committee?
Yes, Purchasing Committee did meet this afternoon, and we did review the claims, and after review, I would recommend approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve our claims. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 2 passed. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval to receive donated funds for the city's animal shelter sponsorship program for the months of August and September 2019 in the amount of $4,738.45, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Garvin.
Mr. Chair and members of the committee, we received $2,683.45 in August and $2,055 in September for a total of $4,738.45, and I'd recommend approval to accept the donations.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 3 passes, and with that item passing, that is our final item for the Finance Committee.
I will now call to order a Public Works Committee meeting of October 21st, 2019. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of October 7, 2019.
Everybody's had time to review. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of Resolution Number 2785, directing the filing and notification of the publications of Supplement Number 20 to the Muskogee City Code of Ordinances, or take other necessary action.
Tammy?
Chairman and Committee, this codification incorporates ordinances that have been passed by City Council through August the 12th of 2019. This resolution will approve the adoption of the supplement. I'll be glad to answer any questions and recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second on item number 2. Are there any questions from the committee? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider the approval of the appointment of John Martin to the War Memorial Trust Authority, filling the expired term of Thomas Hampton, beginning November 1, 2019, and ending September 30, 2022, as approved by the War Memorial Trust Authority on September 18, 2019, or take other necessary action.
Counselor Stout?
Yes. John is an avid volunteer out at the park and has spent countless hours out there, and we'd like to take this opportunity of having him back on our board. So I move for approval.
Second.
Outstanding. Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 3 passes. Item number 4, please.
Consider the appointment of Joe Poole to the Ward 1 seat on the Urban Renewal Authority to serve a 3-year term beginning October 28, 2019, and ending on August 31st, 2022, replacing Gary Dunlap, or take other necessary action.
Counselor Kale?
Joe's a lifelong Muskogee resident, and I think he would do a wonderful job on this committee.
Second.
Okay, I have a
For
motion
board.
and a second on item number 4. Any questions? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 4 passes. Item number 5, please.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract between the City of Muskogee and Great Plains Consulting in an amount not to exceed $143,400 for construction inspection of the 24th Street Improvements Project and other street projects, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Riley?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and committee. This is with the size and the amount of inspection effort needed on the 24th Street project. We are considering hiring Great Plains Consulting to bring an inspector in. Currently, they do the inspection on our sewer work, and have done an exceptional job on that. And this will bring a second inspector in with their staff to work here in the city. The documentation and everything has been great. So we've asked them for this proposal, and would like to negotiate with them to keep to do this inspection. And they will also, as part of this, do other street project inspection as we do more overlays and the upcoming micro seal that should start later this week. We recommend approval, and we'll be happy to answer any questions.
So this will not only be consulting on 24th, but it could also include other street projects?
Yes, the plan is to use them on any street projects up into their capacity.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I recognize.
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking away at Derek. Yes, Mr. Riley. I just wish this would have came in on our street project for Ward 3, this inspection. It's, I know it's coming in on 24th Street, but it'd have been good to have it also in Ward 3 when we first started, or even Ward 4, when the project first started in the beginning. It would have been good to have these people inspect these streets.
Yes, it would have been good. I mean, this with 24th being ongoing project, it gives us the enough work for them to do to have them here full time.
Well, 24th Street is not as long as the other streets. I mean, in the wards. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is it would have been good to have these people here, but we had to bring to your attention that they wasn't doing their job like they should be doing it in order to get this here. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is the construction company was lacking. Still, I mean, I don't know how they're still lacking now. But
Councilor Van, is it related to this project of approving the inspector, though?
Well, in a way, Mr. Johnson, but like I said, because we brought to your attention that the construction company was not doing their job, y'all jumped to it, and since it's in y'all's ward and everybody else's ward, y'all wanted another inspector. That's what got your attention.
Let me add one thing since Mr. Miller's not here. I will tell you, Councilor Van, that we have been working with the contractors on some issues that we have been aware of before the complaints that were brought from us. And one of the reasons that we attempted to remedy this was to get a full-time inspector for somebody who was outside, who could, inspect these and make reports to us. And the idea is that, because we've had these problems and because we've discussed them with the council and the council's willingness to expand these services to other projects, the idea is that it came from not only staff discussion but also discussion from amongst the council. And so we think this is something that we'll be doing moving forward so that we don't have those issues that was experienced from that issue in Ward 3.
And keep in mind the phrase of the week last week, and that's what we've promised to do. You remember that phrase?
What was the phrase, Councilman?
Learn from our mistakes.
Learn from our mistakes.
We're going to try. We're going to try our best.
Okay, on this item, I believe I had a motion from the mayor.
Yes.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any other comments by the committee? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Cale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Item number 5 passes. Item number 6, please.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract between the City of Muskogee and Cook's Consulting LLC for Muskogee water system maintenance in an amount not to exceed $250,000 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Riley again, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and committee. This is in this year's budget. We included money to hire a contractor to do water repairs and some of our backlog on street cut repairs from water cuts. We solicited proposals. We received one from Cook's Consulting, but we did go through it thoroughly. It's a unit price contract, and unit prices are very reasonable. So the plan is to use these, as a leak comes up, or as we assign leaks. There are plenty of leaks out there, but we'll use the unit prices to pay them to complete these as they come up into the $250,000 that we had budgeted this year for, and we recommend approval.
Glad to see us at this stage that we're starting to move forward and get caught up on some of the water leaks, and I appreciate the movement on this item. Any other comments from
Was
the
this
committee?
something that we put out for bid and only they applied for, or we just go get cooked?
We put it out for proposals because it's more of a service where we're using unit prices and we're not bidding the full amount. So
You already
it's
have a
hard to
list of-
define what we're bidding because it may be hydrants, it may be a 6-inch line, maybe a 2-inch line. So we've got unit prices for everything that we typically do, so that we can assign the work and we have the unit prices that are reasonable, and then we spend those up to the $250,000. So we did request proposals, and only one was received.
Okay, because I'm sitting here thinking $250,000 may not be enough to fix all of our problems.
And that's what I agree, but that's what we budgeted for this year. Yeah, and as it goes well, I assume we'll budget more in future years.
So will we be able to know what projects are being done? I mean, we have, over 200 water leaks, and we have several water hydrants that need to be replaced and some put back in place. Will we know what exactly projects are being done and where they're being done at as a city council?
We can, our water distribution crews, we can report in our weekly report to the manager the different locations we're doing through the week, especially the more notable areas. But we can report them all, and then he can report to you where we're working.
Okay, because I'd like to see that, because I'd like to see how far we're getting along for $250,000. I'd like to see where we're getting.
Sure,
and what
sure,
we're
and we
getting
will
done.
track what this contractor is doing.
And I know that sounds like I'm micromanaging, but I'm not. I just kind of want to see where we're going and see what we can get accomplished for $250,000. I just don't know what we can get done for that.
Mr. Hall, I can tell you that this is from my perspective, and I'm going to ask Mr. Riley, but I don't know if we could find anyone as capable and as fair and as trustworthy and as cooperative as Cook Construction.
Oh, I'm not debating on construction.
I mean, I just, that whole deal for the city, we're getting a bargain in my estimation.
Well, I'm not
for how
debating
this whole
Cook Construction here. I'm just debating what we're getting done and where it's going to be done at. I'm not one way or the other about the construction company. I just want to see what we're getting done.
Yeah, and we'll track it, what they're doing.
Okay.
And we'll report it weekly. So.
I think in those Friday reports, we get a lot of information, but I think getting that information will be really helpful. That was a really good point.
Well, and the reason,
Good
and
point.
let me because the way you stated it kind of makes it sound like I was up against them, and it's not. It's just that because the people in Ward 2, Ward 3, Ward 1, Ward 4 want to know that we're out doing stuff. And we've got this money, and I think that we need to let them know that we are accomplishing the things that we said we were going to accomplish. That's all I want. And I want to be able to say, hey, this is where they did this at. And that's where I'm at.
That's a great point.
Because they're since we passed the CIP, they're kind of waiting to see what we do with it, and we need to start throwing it out there what we're doing with all the money that we're using, and let the public know and be honest with them and upfront with them so they see that we're doing. These are not beautiful projects. This isn't building a park. This isn't putting a splash pad in or putting rose beds in or anything. This is that ugly stuff that maintains our infrastructure that people don't see. It's underground, and they don't see all that. So we're going to have to show them what we're doing.
Yeah, and it includes fire hydrants also.
I'm excited about that.
Councilor Coleman, you had a question?
Yes, Mr. Riley, conceptually speaking, I'm assuming it's safe to assume that by us using them as a contractor, that also frees up our staff, if necessary, to double up, so we're almost doing more than we will be able to do without the contractor.
Correct. Our water distribution crews will still be working just
Right.
as they do. My plan is to put Cook on the backlog and have our crews doing the stuff that comes up new, so we can
Right.
keep up and then use this money to get the backlog.
Right, so we're keeping up and
Yeah.
almost doubling our capacity if we do it that way.
Correct.
Move the approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions from committee?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll be recognized.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Riley. When on our water distribution crew, do y'all pull them to do the trash?
No, they do not do trash.
They don't ever do trash?
No.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that then. I'm all for this project.
Yeah, we trash. We use environmental control in streets as their short.
That's the only ones. Okay. Thank you. I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
That will conclude the Public Works Committee meeting for this evening. We've not received any recognition of citizens to speak tonight. Thank you.
Okay, we will call to order the special call meeting of October 21, 2019. Roll call, please.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Here.
Evelyn Hibbs. Here. Dan Hall.
Here.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Patrick Kale.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
We're still all here. Item 1.
Consider recommendations from the AIM Infrastructure Committee to advertise a request for qualifications to develop a transit sidewalk trail bikeway master plan for the city of Muskogee or take other necessary action.
I see, is Mr. Wilkerson here? Who's going to take
He
this?
is not here, so I will try to address it, because I'm not sure where he is at. The AIM Infrastructure Committee has recommended approval to advertise for an RFQ, request for qualifications, to develop a transit sidewalk trail bikeway master plan. Basically, the master plan for the trails hasn't been done over the past 15 years. It was originally developed in 2004. At that time, we've only had, I think, a couple miles of trails. Now we've got 9.5 miles. We only had about a quarter mile of bike pathways. Now we've got about 5 miles. In addition to that, the Muskogee County Transit Authority is trying to make some adjustments to their plan and routes. Combination of all that, they feel like the plan needs to be updated, and this would allow us to go out and advertise for an RFQ for that plan. Be glad to answer any questions.
Is the maintenance going to be involved in this also?
Say again?
The maintenance? You know, we put all this stuff
It
in. We
should,
never.
the plan overall should address ongoing maintenance too, and then we can make sure that it does address it.
Okay. We put a lot of stuff in, but we don't think about the aftermath of the maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes, and the motion carries. Item 2.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. A, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the employment, terms, evaluation, hiring, appointment, demotion, disciplining, resignation, or termination of City Manager Mike Miller, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. B, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the employment, terms, evaluation, hiring, appointment, demotion, disciplining, resignation, or termination of City Attorney Roy D. Tucker, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. C, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the employment, terms, evaluation, hiring, appointment, demotion, disciplining, resignation, or termination of City Clerk Tammy L. Tracy, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session.
Make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes, the motion carries. Would you please excuse us while we go into executive session? We're back. Roll call, please.
Mayor Janie Boydston.
Here.
Evelyn Hibbs. Dan Hall.
Here.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Patrick Kale. Ivory Van.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
Okay, we're back. Mr. Tucker?
Number 2A, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, the City Council did convene an executive session to discuss the employment of City Manager Mike Miller. After that discussion and through Potential evaluation of Mr. Miller's employment. I think at this time, no action is necessary. Item 2B, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council convened an executive session to discuss the employment of City Attorney Roy Tucker. After discussing a potential evaluation of Mr. Tucker, again, I don't think any action is necessary. Item 2C, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council convened an executive session to discuss the employment of City Clerk Tammy Tracy. Again, a potential evaluation was discussed, but currently no action is necessary at this time. Mayor?
Thank you very much, and with that, we will be adjourned.